We are sort of coming at things from the other end of the spectrum, and that Hamilton's a town of about 20,000 people, so far too many churches, but as usual with small Scottish towns these days. So we originally started our home church at Hamilton Old. We were hosting Holy Week in 2017. So the thought was, why don't we get a group together, put on a Passion play, see if a number of churches in Hamilton contribute to that Holy Week service, the Holy Week services, and it's held in one church. It was our turn to host it. So for 2017, we planned a smallish Passion play that could be part of the church services. So we got a group of people together, found people that were willing to act in it. We hired an actor to be Jesus, who happened to be the one that did Edinburgh most of the time, but you weren't doing it that year, so he was available for us. So we put on the Passion play. We ran a Palm Sunday full Passion play. We did daily vignettes in the churches during the Holy Week services. We did a crucifixion at the back of Hamilton Old, where there was an old cross. But we didn't use the old cross, that's a protected monument. We built a new one. And then we did the resurrection at the dawn service. That's at 6:30 in the morning, so it was a bit of a challenge for everyone. And then a little later on we did Pentecost, to go tell it to all nations. So that kicked us off, if you like, into about thinking about drama and can we do it. And the minister's wife, Liz, is well known in the industry, so she got involved in organising it, and she is the director, producer at the moment. I'm afraid because this is their school week, she's off with the kids in the caravan and her husband, so who's the minister, obviously. So that sort of kicked us off. So we then went round the different churches saying, will you help us, will you help us? Not just the Church of Scotland ones, anybody we could find. There's the Baptist Church, the United Free Church, or United Reformed Church they're called these days, and a number of other groups round about who were interested in it. So from that we decided to do something a bit more ambitious, so we talked nicely to the council and we then got permission to do it in a full resurrection Passion play in the city centre. And to our amazement, about 1,000 people turned up to follow us into the centre of town. We walked, Jesus went down healing people and down into the main marketplace, and then from there on it all went downhill until the crucifixion and the resurrection. We decided to form ourselves into something which was more drama oriented. We didn't particularly want to aim at Passion plays. We thought they were a great vehicle, so we formed Drama Kirk, which, as I say, is a subsidiary of Hamilton, although it's managed, if you like, financially by Hamilton Old Parish Church. We can act under their charitable status, but we have a steering group with members from each church. Some are more active in it than others, but they all come along, they all provide ideas, and we've also found that recently we've been looking for funding. What happened was we then applied for Go For It funding from the Church of Scotland, which was, and won it, but that gave us £10,000 a year for 3 years, but we had to match that funding. So we have to raise that as well, and that is roughly our budget for putting on the year's drama efforts. I say it is a much smaller thing. Sorry?
10,000 church not
yeah.
10,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 10,000 from the Go For It funding, and we have to raise the 10,000 somehow or other. The church said there was a bequest that they said they acted as guarantor, if you like, that if we failed to reach the 10,000, they'd step in and do it. The good news is we're almost there now. Wow. So for the first time round anyway. We've branched out into a number of things. We decided we'd have a go at doing nativities, so we decided to do the council allowed us to do to follow the Hamilton Reindeer Parade. We thought it might be interesting to introduce Jesus back into Christmas. Remind them what it's all about. So that we have Santa Claus, we have the reindeer, and then we have us. And we follow the reindeer parade up to the top cross in Hamilton, and then we put on a sort of 10-minute nativity. So we're doing that. We did that last year, and it worked well. We had, even when it started raining, they stayed for the nativity play. Although it is dangerous, I was a wise man, and I was walking just behind the reindeer. Walking in sandals behind a herd of reindeer is not fun. You have to watch what you're walking on. Anyway, Dramakirk sort of went on from then. We're now doing things like Walk with the Word, where we started in our local country park, Charterrow Country Park, Walk with Moses. So we chose the chunk of Exodus after he'd crossed, just after the Red Sea, until he got to the Promised Land. We picked a 1-mile walk through the park, and then had different events happening at different places. I was originally going to be Moses, but unfortunately my hip gave way, so I had to have it replaced. So I became the voice of God, which they could record, and someone else stood in as Moses. But that was quite successful. We had maybe about 100 people at a time went walking with us 3 times on a Saturday. We've been trying dramatic Bible studies. They've been coming and going, but they're where we take a couple of characters out of the Bible and reenact them, try and live the parts, and just invent it as you go along in some cases. We started with Ruth and Boaz, and we're doing Moses, we're doing Joshua. No, we've done Joshua. So this year's Nativity is a new star, which will also be following the reindeer parade, but it's from the point of view of the stars. The original star over Bethlehem and the new one over us today. And I have no idea what it's like because I haven't seen the script yet, so, but that's what's happening. But we've also been invited to do it in the local Clyde Valley Farm Park, which isn't a religious organisation of any kind, and we're doing it in a local nursing home. And then for next year, we decided to sign up on the One Good Friday stuff, so we're putting that on. But not only in Hamilton, but East Kilbride have asked us to do it in their shopping centre. And that's almost unheard of, to get into a shopping centre. So we're doing it there on the Saturday. We're doing it in Hamilton on the Friday. And that's where we are. What I did ask Liz to do was come up with a leaflet giving helpful hints and tips as to what to do to get things moving. So I've got one for each of you, so if you can pass these round, it might help you with questions and answers or whatever. But I don't want to tie you up too much longer, but that's where we've come from, that's where we are now. How is it going to pan out? I don't know. Him upstairs will have to let us know at some point. But we're trying a variety of routes, and we hope and pray that that will all work out for us.